sides together, backstitching a small felt seam, tiny as I can. I mean, might be just fine. A little bit unprecise work, so we'll see how that goes. So backstitch those two sides, face both sides together. Same on the other side, and then we'll have with the facing piece. Put some buttonholes in to be able to attach. Here's where I'm at, and this is just my way of doing this, and I'm not saying it's like, you know, the way to do kick pleats for this, especially because this is a special case of these are going to be detachable. So, but you have the idea of you've got your outside, and then there's going to be a fold, which I'm not much of an iron user. And so it's like a facing, and then your flare in behind of color. So I've got this much constructed. What I need to do now is get some buttonholes, and I need them to match up with what I've already done on the sides, and it needs to match up with can you move your tail? Move over here. Okay. Need to match it up with the holes on the sides and with the strips that I made to button through to the front. So this will be the very back layer, and then the kick pleat will button on top of that. Button up through, and then come up, the buttons come up through the holes in the front here. Get this lined up here. Mark where I want to put these buttonholes. Honey, not there. Thank you. I'm going to do that side first, and then I will deal with this one, because I'm going to do this first and then button it on, and then deal with this side. Cut some buttonholes here. Ooh. Easy there. And it might not be as much of an issue as I'm thinking, because this pleat might be fairly wide as it is, this flare, and so you may not need that much of the facing, though I mean the facing is there as a facing, so that's the purpose. But actually we've got quite a bit left here, and this is how they looked. If you look on the Pinterest board, the inspiration board, there's a kick pleat section, and you know it does taper up to toward the point when they're unfolded, and there's some photos of Elvis with the kick pleats out, and actually that doesn't look too bad. There's still a little folding room here under, and then as a facing, and then come back with the pleats. So that might be okay. Okay, that's good. We'll see. This is just the mock-up anyway, so I mean, and I'll be making multiple colors of this, so I just know for the next one to give a little more room here. But it might be not too bad as it is. So let's see. Might as well go ahead and mark these on. Not as much room on this side where the buttonholes are bigger, but they don't maybe necessarily need to be quite so big. Did I lose the strip? Oh my gosh. Tony, are you sitting on it? That's usually the first place you need to look. Oh my gosh. Isn't it? Isn't it the first place I need to look? Goodness gracious. Here I'm cutting into the seam now it's there. Alrighty. So actually, pretty good. So then the B-fold, here. So this goes down and in. Now, usually when they're closed, you want them to come up like this. We do have some extra. So it actually might be alright. I mean, because I doubled the facing, we may not need that because of the width that I made this pleats. There, you can get an idea if you can see the ends here, how this works. It's kind of like accordion folding. And actually, that doesn't look too bad. So, go ahead and sew those buttonholes. For the actual finished garment, I have decided I'm not going to do the detachable kick pleats. I'm going to just do like a, well, I'm not sure now. I have to see how this works because I still want the color flare, so I'm going to have another color of material. So whether I'm going to just stitch that onto the main fabric, or even in some of Elvis's suits, he didn't have a color pop. He just had the kick pleat was the same color as the suit on some of the white ones or cream suits. So I will likely, I'm going to start the configuration that way to figure out how it's going to go, and then that will give me the parameters I need to cut the color flare. And then maybe I'll just stitch that color flare on, because if you study his kick pleats of when they're out, you can see that there's the facing color like this, the fabric, same as the fabric color, and then the color flare. And whether that color flare is stitched on or whether that color was dyed or printed on, I'm not sure. So that's interesting. And some of them, sometimes the kick pleats are referred to as inserts as well. So anyway, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, I'm happy with how this looks. I'm not sure. Maybe I guess, yeah, no, we need to have these the pleats folded, ironed in. Sometimes on Elvis's, you will see this because he has kicked them out. So that's okay. I'm okay with that if that's how they end up looking. But I think once if I iron the folds in, then it will stay more. And actually, it seemed like his fabric was fairly thick. Some of them it seemed the color pop flare. So I think if on the final garment I end up stitching a layer of fabric to the base layer, to the main skirt wool, then that might actually help to make it sturdier and more apt to stay. Have your facing. So actually this is actually quite good. This is actually better than I thought, because that's what you want for the facing, is just that much, and we're not into the green entirely. Now when I stitch the buttonhole, it might be, because that it has to get over that button. We'll see, but that's very close actually. And so then in Elvis's suits you would see this facing. It comes in. So that if you were seeing inside the pleat, you see the same color as the suit, so the facing layer. and then facing layer, and then the flare. And this flare is probably it's a little wider maybe than it needs to be, though his seem to vary in width as well. I think that's there, underneath here. It's my cat proof. I think I'm gonna get back to work again sooner than later on the quilted guitar case since now I have another guitar. I think I'm going to make 2 of them. Just whip around here. We cut it out. Did you eat your supper? Okay, so I've got these 3 buttonholes stitched. And I probably could have done them a little smaller. The buttons still would have gone through. Yeah, because there's really lots of room here. So that's good to know. Those are still a pretty stretchy buttonhole. So I could have maybe avoided cutting into that. Didn't go far. I finished the second set of buttonholes. And this one's a little rough, a little jagged, but I didn't tighten it up there. I could have sort of closed that, but I was concerned that maybe then the button wouldn't fit, so I just left it worked around. Well, it might have. Okay, and then up through the top. Okay, Ash, up, up. Good girl. Thanks for help tonight. Pretty happy with how that has turned out, so I just need to make the one for the other side, which I'm not going to film. I will maybe iron some folds in there.